Oh my god. I've been meaning to do this video for a while and I've been staving it off because I'm worried that a whole bunch of fanboys are going to unsubscribe for me. Hey-oh, hi there, it's Timmy Joe. And controversial subject. Today I'm going to talk about why I think, and I think I'm right, that unfortunately Apple has seen better days and they're on their way out. That's right. I'm talking the top 5 reasons why I think Apple's not making any comebacks anytime soon, and give it like 3-5 years and they'll be the BlackBerry of the tech world. All right, cue an intro. We're gonna talk all about it. Please don't unsubscribe. Bah! Okay, let's get serious. Top 5 reasons why I think Apple's on their way out. Unfortunately, I think it's an inevitability. Unfortunately, things are changing, things are moving quick. I don't think that they're really they're keeping up too well. And I'll get to all the reasons. Okay, well, we're gonna start with number 1, and this used to kind of work for them, the whole form over function thing. They make a product and they want to make it, the thinnest possible, so it's the most beautiful little piece of piano black, pink, rose gold iPhone in your hand, or the thinnest MacBook Pro yet, at the expense of what? Well, the expense of SD card reader, expense of proper power port, expense of regular old USB. I mean, those are just kind of standard things that they threw right out the window, and now you gotta buy dongles. I mean, we're just tired of talking about dongles at this point, aren't we? And it's not like they include any in the box, so you're really forced to buy more products from them right off the hop. And they solder RAM right on the motherboards of these things, so you're not upgrading them anytime soon. So form over function, when other manufacturers are finding ways around this, is kind of a key downfall. I think that's something that people aren't going to stand for as much anymore. Case in point, the headphone jack on the newest iPhone. I mean, they're starting a trend, and I know they're trying to make USB-C jump right in with that, and no more headphone jack for Bluetooth. But what they're really doing is they're making things a little cheaper, and that way they can make things a little bit thinner. And that's really just the truth of it. Number 2, with Apple, you have very limited choices. And on the PC side, the complete opposite. On the Android side, the complete opposite. But when you're an Apple user, you want to go buy a new phone, well, you can have big iPhone, small iPhone, or last year's iPhone. Oh, we might bring out one called the iPhone SE that's a little bit cheaper, but don't tell anybody. It's just an iPhone 5. Come on. With a PC, you can build one. You can go buy a Yoga that flips into a tablet. You can buy just a Windows tablet. You can build a computer. You can spec out a crazy gaming laptop. You have all the gaming options. But with Apple, you're stuck with what they give you. Number 3, it's expensive. Apple has what's known as the Apple tax. Everything's just a lot more expensive, even if you could, take the exact same PC or exact same kind of spec phone. The Apple's always going to be more expensive, and that's just the way it is. Now, they've got away with that and kind of this premium exclusivity before, but the other manufacturers are making products that are very, very close to the nice, smooth feeling of a brand new iPhone or MacBook for less money, and people are gonna start switching their ways, I think, and I don't think it's gonna work for them anymore. And then you gotta buy all these dongles on top of it, and then if you want to buy an iPhone, you can't just throw MP3s onto it and listen to them unless you jailbreak it or something. You have to buy stuff through iTunes and the App Store. You have to buy these apps, and it's expensive. You have to kind of buy into the Apple ecosystem, and there's a lot more to it than just buying a phone or a computer. You're going to end up with some extra expense along the way. Number 4, everyone's kind of doing Apple but better these days. And what I mean by that is Google brought out their Pixel, and it looks a lot like an iPhone. It feels a lot like an iPhone. Now, there's some debate on whether it's as pretty as an iPhone or whatever, but it's as premium like an iPhone, and it has specs. It's specced out, has a great camera, and it's priced at that iPhone level. And now people aren't thinking this exclusivity so much. They might go with the Google because they have this like iPhone type product. Microsoft's doing the same thing. There's the Microsoft Studio. The Surface Studio looks like an iMac. So, they kind of haven't made an iMac for a couple of years. Well, Microsoft came out with one, and it's so much nicer. It's so cool. And it has a touch screen and all this innovation. And it's like, where's that on the Apple side? That used to be kind of like the creative, the content creator. That they went to Apple for all of these innovations and new technologies, and now Google's doing it, and Microsoft's doing it, and they're doing it better, and they're doing it at that expense and taking away from that high-end market share. So I really think, like, if you look at it, there's like 5 or 6 Android phones that look just like the iPhone. The Meizu, there's like a Meizu, it looks like identical to an iPhone. So the look of it's been copied, almost perfectly now. And then, you buy into this ecosystem, but it's so easy to switch over now that I don't think that it's gonna really, people are gonna get tired of the Apple tax, and they're gonna look for other options. And unless they come out with some new product or something crazy in the next little while, I don't really think people are going to stay with them. I mean, the Apple Watch was maybe one of the more successful smartwatches, but it certainly didn't put an Apple Watch on everyone's wrist the way an iPhone kind of changed things, that's for sure. Coming down to it, reason number 5 is Steve Jobs is dead. Steve Jobs is dead. And you know what? That's kind of crazy to say. I don't mean to offend anyone with that, but he's not coming back to save them. They kicked him out in the early 90s or late 80s or whatever, and then he came back and he saved their computer division with, the iMac. They made kept them in the market share and kept them in this space. And then, a few things later, they come out with a few better iMacs, and then everyone's talking MP3 players, and Steve Jobs does a keynote, and suddenly everyone wants an iPod. And then a few years later, Steve Jobs does a keynote, and everyone wants a smartphone. Everyone wants an iPhone. And then he did it with the iPad. And then he did it with, a bunch of the newer Mac computers. And he was on a roll. And every time Apple's been in a hard spot and been losing market share, Steve Jobs was there to swoop in and save them. And they do not have that savior anymore. Unless they've got his brain maybe like plugged into a bunch of lightning connectors somewhere in the basement of Apple headquarters, and they're gonna bring him back like a hologram, like Tupac, to debut the iPhone 8. I don't really see them making a comeback. So do you agree with this list? Do you agree with me? Do you think Apple's here to stay, and it doesn't matter what they do or what they take away from the phones or the computers? They're just, people will buy them no matter what? Or people getting tired of them, Apple shoving things in their face, saying, you don't want this, you want this? I don't know. But I got some opinions on it, and I just told you them. If you disagree with me, leave some comments below. My name is Timmy Joe, and those are my top 5 reasons why I think Apple cannot make a comeback. But that will remain to be seen, and I guess I'm just a huge PC and Android fanboy. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next week.